That's not what's going on over there at all. At this point, I put this on the agenda so we can get some understanding. I'd like the building official to come forward and state why permits are not being given and what the real status is of going over there. Mrs. March Goldwire, please. Thank you.
Lady March Goldwire, building official for the city of Riviera Beach. I would like to first start out by saying that if in the event there are any permits required to make immediate repairs to the current conditions, the Millennia team has always been aware that they can do that. Repairs associated to roof leaks, structural damage, the code allows for, whether I grant it or not, the ability to pull an emergency permit or make the necessary repairs and file a permit application the next day. The current conditions are different from the conditions that they are proposing and asking for approval for down the line. I explained to them on several occasions and spoke with a young lady here. When the roofs fell in and we came out on Tuesday, I advised them, you don't even have to bring me the specs, which are absolutely required in most cases. Because of the current conditions on the building and because there are serious exposures to the elements, just bring me the bare minimum. I was told that that would happen the next day. It is today, and I haven't gotten anything. And that has been par for course over much of the existing conditions. If we move forward to what the proposed conditions is, it's evident that there's been some conversation with regard to level 1 and level 3, because that's a very technical term. So someone has already spoken to you and advised that I have not been in agreement with the level 1 repairs. Level 1 repairs in layman terms is commensurate with fixing a light bulb, fixing, replacing fixtures, perhaps changing walls. Their argument is they're not reconfiguring spaces. However, every time that they presented to you as a dais, they've indicated that they would go down to stud and make full repairs. So when you get into a level 1 repair, that is not happening. I have gone over the plans in spite of the fact that they were already approved for a third-party vendor, a third-party person to come in and approve their drawings, and conducted a plan review anyway to expedite their request. And in that review, we determined that they, in fact, are making significant changes. However, they refuse to install changes that are absolute requirements. Stony Brooks has been on fire watch since August. That means that someone is responsible for walking the entire premise and giving a 30-minute account of whether or not the building is safe and free from fire hazard. That's been since August. Currently, outside of that manual effort, there is nothing that alerts to fire. There is nothing that alerts to smoke damage. There is nothing that gives anybody a heads up that something could possibly go wrong. That's been since August. They don't have a notification system. They don't have a sound system. They don't have the bare minimum. I asked them, as a result of the current conditions, the date of the building and when it was constructed, the fact that they have old electrical systems, I asked them to install a firewall from the second floor through the roof, and they are giving me pushback on that. That firewall would allow our first responders the opportunity to actually save some lives, because current conditions don't allow for that. And so if you have a project whereas you have all of this money to put it back together the right way, you can't bring me a plan and ask for me to grant you approval at level 1. I've told them that I will not do it. I'm not sure why the conversation keeps going back and forth, because ultimately that decision is at the discretion of the building official. So unless they fix it the right way, we can't do it. Now, for the current conditions, the roof that's fallen in on several buildings that have had roof failure for months. When I first got here, the roof came off from the hurricane. We had the buildings damaged from the fires. Permits associated with that, they absolutely can do, and I will do immediately. But their response to me has been, we would like to take these repairs up with the proposed conditions or with the proposed renovations. They're not interested in fixing current conditions. They're interested in me giving them a permit to do proposed conditions at level 1. At level 1, no firewall, no system, no electrical panel change out. No, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And they want me to grant them the permission to do their repairs under the existing building code. Well, they can do that, but there's also an element in the code that says, at the discretion of the building official, if it is apparent that improving the current system, bringing the buildings up to code, will increase and improve the life safety of the residents, that I get the option to ask them to do something different. And that is what I've chosen, because they've not done what they've promised me they will do. They have gone to everybody else to ask for passes. There are 216 doors at Stony Brooks. Passes are not allowable. We've had too many incidents where it's problematic. So current conditions should not be confused with the proposed conditions. Number one. Number two, if they would just do the bare minimum, I can assure you I would walk the permit over there to them. That has not happened. I've been presented with every element of intimidation that you can imagine. And it is upsetting. I have and am willing to give them whatever permits they need. But I will not forego the code to give it to them. And that is the end of it. That is where I am with it. I don't know what else to do. They have hired a third-party team to override me, as they did when I found the violations before. And if that's the route they want to go, then that's what they have to do. But I'm not going to sign on it because they're ultimately going to need a certificate of occupancy. 20 years from now, they will wake me out my bed if there is a fatality and take me where everybody wants to see me, and that is jail. I don't want to do it. I can't do it.